All right, everybody. How y'all doing? You guys know me, William Hegman, the social agent. I've got Patrick Connell, my business partner, here with me today. Um, we wanted to do a little bit of a what's the word here? Like Q&A on the state of your business right now. What you guys are experiencing. What are you guys seeing in the market? How COVID-19 may affect your business. I won't say will affect your business because we don't know 100% for sure, what will happen. But what Patrick and I have done across all of our businesses, and a lot of you may or may not know, but we have the social agent, we have social agent broker edition, which is formerly LSM. We've got our flipping business. We've got our brokerage that actually is what Patrick and I started together. And we've got a few other things that we do outside um, of everything else on our own that we have to have measures in place for. For things like this. We didn't specifically plan for COVID-19, per se, or a virus, but emergency situations are something that you should always plan for in your business. And, this is no different. We're seeing a lot of people in different mindsets right now. Some who are freaking out completely and canceling everything and doing those things. Some that are much more calm and continuing. I won't say business as usual, but just pivoting the way they feel they need to pivot to keep their business going. So we're going to touch on a few points, and I want to do some Q&A with you guys. And again, for guys, if you see me looking off over here, it's because I'm looking at the Facebook. I've got Facebook up on this screen right here and my camera over here, so I can answer your questions as you ask them on the Facebook Live. Um, we have a few people on right now. I want you guys to ask as many questions as you want. If you have a question about a specific topic, something that you're experiencing, something that you're curious about, interested to know what we are doing to combat X, Y, or Z, ask those questions right here on the live and we will answer those for you. Otherwise, we're going to talk about some of the points that Patrick covered on that 11-minute video yesterday. If you guys did not see that video, um, you should go into the group and search for Patrick's name and look at the last post that he made in the group yesterday. That it was a great informative video, but we're gonna do a little bit more of a relaxed situation here where we talk about those things, not just to you but with you. So Patrick, go ahead and take over and let's open it up with whatever you want to open it up with, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's fine. So I think the thing that the best way to start this for those that didn't get a chance to catch that video is this is a little recap and a little quick recap. And so the thing that I want you guys to focus on moving forward is this: everybody's freaking out. The whole world is freaking out. Emotions are driving the markets. Emotions are driving people's behavior. If you went to the store to get toilet paper, you realize that there's an irrational purchase of toilet paper. The store shelves are completely empty. Hoarding, crowds, all kinds of stuff going on. So everything's being emotion driven. And the one thing that you guys can't let your emotions drive is how you manage your business. Um, for those that have been around for a little bit, you know that we've talked about business planning and creating a plan and putting a lot of time into it and then sticking to it. And while this situation, this storm that we're in, if you will, is going to change how you do business, it shouldn't change the plan. The biggest thing that I can really touch on is your lead generation. And I know we're a lead generation company and products, it's what we do. But even Gary Keller, who, if you're a Keller Williams agent, he had his live stream, I believe it was yesterday, I think. Um, even he talked about you got to double down on your lead gen. There's plenty of business out there for everybody still. You might just have to work twice as hard to get it. So for those of you that have reached out to us, and I said in my video, we got dozens and dozens and probably hundreds, and then I went back later on, and we've definitely got hundreds of messages and emails and comments and all kinds of other stuff. For people that are like, I want to recoil. I want to conserve money. I want to conserve my time. I don't want to go out. I don't want to talk to people. I just kind of want to, kind of recoil and wait and see what happens. Here's the problem with that. This will blow over. Okay. Just like all the other times this has happened in the past, this will blow over and we will be better for it on the other side. But what happens is if you stop lead generating and you stop feeding your business, because we're all in sales, feeding our business with leads and contacts is what we do. If you stop doing that, when we come out on the other side, okay, you're going to be really struggling just to get back to where you were beforehand. And those folks that invest the time and the money and the energy in generating leads and working their sphere, their network, and their CRM are going to be much better off. And so you want to be one of those folks. And for those of you who go, man, I want to conserve finances, I need this, totally get it. Totally understand and respect that. Those of you that are like that, that have lots of leads already in your system, spend time working on those leads. If you're really bad about calling people and you're stuck in your house for the next 2 to 4 weeks, you should be on the phone 4, 5, 6 hours a day, calling people that you never call, calling people that you should have called that you didn't, cleaning up your CRM so that you can get rid of the stuff that you can trim the fat, right? And really focus on the stuff that's important. So there are ways to continue working your leads and generating leads, all right, and still conserving funds. Now, I'm going to recommend that you continue doing whatever you were doing beforehand and not just stop, because at some point you're going to hit a dead zone where you're not going to be putting stuff into the top of the funnel, so there's nothing coming out at the bottom. But it's really important for you guys just to kind of stick to your plans. Don't let your emotions dominate your business and how you're going to run that, and pivot a little bit as needed. So that's my recap from yesterday's video. William, do you have anything else you want to throw in there as far as that goes?
Yeah, let me touch on something here real quick, because I was looking at the numbers yesterday, guys, and to date, I've trained just a tad under 20,000 people since December of 2016, between the one-on-ones and the video trainings. The reason why I tell you that is because that means I have access to thousands and thousands of ads managers. And I decided to go in yesterday and see who had active ads and who didn't. I had a lot of time to get some stuff done yesterday, so I went through about 600 or 700 accounts back to back. I noticed that probably roughly, I didn't count exactly, but half, I would say, were on and pumping, and the cost per leads looked great. Some were a little bit higher, but that's nature of the beast in some areas. Some were, most of them were really, really low. I attribute that to the fact that lots of people are already practicing social distancing, and they're at home, they're online, they're bored, whatever, but they're still hitting ads and lead generation is still doing well. The other half are probably people that are the opposite, the ones that are conserving cash, or they're not sure what's going on, so they feel the right move to make is to turn off all marketing and cease all spending. Or it may be that they don't have the money to continue marketing, and they're they need that money to get through the time that we're in right now. And whatever that the case may be, that's okay. What the point of this video is, what I'm saying is if you have the funds to continue marketing, you need to continue marketing. Even if you want to lower your budget a little bit. I know I recommend $20 to $25 a day per ad for each of you guys. Lower it to $5 or $10 a day if that's what you need to do, but do not stop marketing completely. Do not stop working your sphere. Do not, okay, let me rephrase that, because I hate that term and I can't believe I just used it. But do not stop working your CRM is what I mean. Your current CRM, your past clients, call and check on them. Just call and see how they're doing, right? That's enough of a touch that for those people, continue working all of the contacts you've ever had, in the past, if you can't spend money on marketing. But do not stop your business, because what'll happen is you may see a closing here, a closing there over the next 3 months. But if you stop your cycle, eventually that cycle is going to jump 3 months, 6 months, and you get to a point where you're almost like a brand new agent. Remember when you started in the business, you probably didn't have a shit ton of business coming in, right? You had to work people, you had to build leads, and it was probably a good 6 months to a year, maybe longer, before you had a consistent number of clients that you were okay financially with bringing in, right? That income level probably wasn't here when you first started. It kind of trickled up. And what's going to happen is if you stop marketing, or you take 2 months off or whatever, or you stop working your leads, or you stop doing everything, it's going to slowly trickle down, and you're going to become that new agent level again, or close to it, and you're going to have to build back up, which means you went through 6 months of not really working much, not having much deals, not having many deals. Then you have to go through another 2 or 3 quarters to get the cycle back, to get back up. So you could end up not making much money for a year or more, right? So you guys have to continue to lead gen, or doing something to continue working, these contacts that you have, to make sure that your business comes in while the United States works through, and the rest of the world works through the COVID-19 issues that we have right now. Everything that we see on social media, or everything that I've seen, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen my posts. I'm a little bit passionate about this stuff because there's so much misinformation being put out there. I get a little angry. I make some posts sometimes, and but last night I ran across a post. I'm not exactly sure that all of the points on there are factual, but most of them were, from what I could tell. Really good news. China's numbers, daily continue to trend down. They're shutting down their makeshift hospitals in Wuhan. Their, South Korea's death rate is much lower than the rest of the world, and they attribute that to uh, the massive amounts of testing they're doing there. So, there's some good news coming out of all of this, and we've got a long road ahead until we get to a point where this may pass, but this will pass. Just like other pandemics before it, it'll come and it'll go. What you can't do is allow your business to suffer, which in turn will cause your family to suffer by panicking and not focusing on your business or things that are constructive that can keep you in a good space while we get through it. Patrick, go ahead.
So let me like 3 things that I want to say, but the first thing that I'm going to address is a question that we have from Michelle, and it's, how can I get in contact with more investors at this time, considering that most of the sellers have put their home sales on pause for a variety of reasons. So here's what I would say. I think that right now the investor market is getting ready to probably pounce, but any solid investor is not, as far as real estate goes, is not jumping in right now, because there's not a whole lot of sellers right now that are jumping to get rid of their homes. So if you wanted to start working with investors, there's a really good suggestion that someone posted. You can go to these rental listings. So go into your MLS, find your leases, all right, and start looking at all the leases from the last, probably 9 months to the last 15 months, and look at those leases. So we know that those leases are hopefully coming up for renewal, and start looking at the sellers of those properties and maybe reaching out to those folks. Or just start working your network, getting in some of the investor groups and talking to folks. If everybody's afraid to go out and look at properties for investors, but you're willing to go out and do the work, you may have an advantage there, just because somebody else, it's not worth the risk for them to go out, but you're okay with it. As far as investors jumping into the market, remember right now that everybody is contracting, all right, for the most part. So what that means is people aren't eager to jump out and buy a house right now or sell a house, because there's uncertainty in what's going on in the world. And nobody, unless they have to, is going to decide, I'm just going to sell now. They're going to stop either because they're home with their kids for the next 6 months, or I know here in Texas, schools have been pushed out till the 5th. So hooray for a 3-week spring break, and maybe longer than that. So either because kids are there, because they're quarantined, because they just don't want people they don't know inside their house. Sellers are going to start shutting themselves off and keeping from either putting their house on the market this spring like they planned on, or if it's already on, they're going to pull back and just say, hey, let's wait. And the buyers are going to be the same way. I don't want to buy a brand new house if I don't know if I'll have my job 3 months from now. I don't know if I will be making the same amount of money. I don't know if I'm going to need to take my down payment and use that just to pay bills to live and exist. So things are going to contract, and that means things are going to kind of stop. And I will tell you that a lot of you don't feel that just yet. You're starting to here and there. But what's going to happen is the slowdown that we're experiencing right now, you're going to feel that about 2 or 3 months from now. Because if you have stuff under contract right now, for the most part, people are continuing with things that are under contract, but they're going to stop putting things under contract. So what's going to happen is all the stuff you have right now is going to close out. And then in about 2 or 3 months, you're going to go, well, shit, I don't have anything going on right now, except maybe this here or this there. And so that's what you're going to see from a large perspective. Are all of you going to go through that? No, not all of you. Some of your areas are a little different. Are some of you going to get it really, really tough? Yeah. I mean, what was it? San Francisco just put themselves on a, 24-hour a day, curfew. So you can't even go out and show homes right now. You can't even come have people do, look at your listings. And so every area is a little bit different. So you just got to be prepared to manage that moving forward. So and so that kind of leads into this other thing I want to tell you guys is, if you're not putting money away, okay, and now probably isn't the right time to do this, but when things start to get better again, all right, every paycheck that you get, every commission you get, you put a little towards taxes. You should be putting a little in kind of like a reserve fund for your business. Okay, you should be putting a little away for operating expenses and retirement, hopefully, and then the rest can go towards your bills and everything else personally. One of the things that William and I did on the front end is the first couple of years that we were in business with our brokerage, we didn't take any money out. We made money, but we didn't take any money out. We left it in a reserve fund, in case there was a downturn or in case we got sued and had to, have like a large, amount of money to kind of fight that. Whatever the emergency may be, we put that away. And so now we know going through the next 6 months that if things kind of turn down, we'll be okay. And that's where you guys want to be in your businesses. We may own the brokerage, and some of you that are watching own your own brokerages or your brokers, but all of us as agents, okay, are independent contractors, right? And so we all own our own businesses. And so you have to run your business like a business, which means putting things in reserve. We see restaurants and bars and stores shutting down across the country, and you're not going to see a lot of those come back. Some of those are going to close down, and they're never going to come back because they can't afford to do that. And that's just the way it is. And so as things get better, okay, and take this time now, this is how bad things can get. I would say that most of you, based on statistics, were not around in 07, 08, 09. And this is the first downturn that you're experiencing. For those agents that have been licensed for over a decade, for the last several years, when you guys have talked about, man, the next downturn, a lot of people are going to get out of the business. This is where that's at. And so that kind of leads me to my third point that I want to point out, and then I'll stop talking and let William jump in. But that is this. There is business out there, okay? You have to be willing to put the work in to go and get it, okay? Those that came into the business in the last 3 or 4 years where the business has been really good, things haven't been all, it's there. I want to say it's easy to sell a house, but listings have been going flying off the shelves, right? And buyers have been, we've had a really good economy, rates have been down, so buyers have been jumping in the market. So that makes for a really good universe for us, but that's changing. And so those that are going to succeed and those who are going to come out on the other side of this and be doing just as well as they were before or not better are the ones that are willing to put in the work. So if you aren't spending 5 or 6 hours a day prospecting, guess what? You're about to start, okay? If you're not willing, okay, to work the phone, work your email, work your relationships, work your sphere, invest in yourself, invest in your business, okay, you're going to find real quick that you're not going to be able to survive doing real estate through a time like this. And then, William and I talked about this before we jumped on. Are we going to be rah, or are we going to be doom and gloom, or are we just going to keep it real, which is how we usually handle things? And we said there's no reason to change the way we usually do things, which is just to keep it real. So this is the reality, whether you like it or not. Yeah. If you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to lead gen, if you're not willing to work everything that you have available to you and put in those extra hours, things are not going to be good for you on the other side. It's just the way it is. So
that's 100% accurate. I mean, guys, I think most of you who know me, with excluding, a lot of the people who have just joined the group or may not have had much interaction with me or seen me comment in the group, know that I'm a pretty straightforward individual. You could probably tell that if you're on my personal profile. I mean, my personal profile is open, so I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't hold things back. I say what I want to say, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear to make you feel better about something, because that doesn't help you, right? That doesn't help any of us. For us to get on here and tell you things just because it may benefit us doesn't help you guys. And that's what I've always cared about. I think I've got so many trainees, and I've created so many relationships in this business. And I appreciate the shit out of every single one of my clients. Both Patrick and I both do, from SAU to Social Agent University, um, Social Agent Broker Edition, LSM, etc. Like, we have clients across all these platforms, and we try to have relationships with everyone that we can. It's, I think you guys know that, or at least I hope you do, that the stuff that we put out is genuinely there for us to help us make a living. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why we work. We want to make money, right? But to also make sure that you guys can make money. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that you guys are successful. And it's one of the reasons why you see people posting in the group, 2 years later, and William helped me out, and I didn't charge me anything to get me back up and running. It's little shit like that you do for your clients. Excuse me, let me not say shit. Stuff like that you do for your clients that go the distance, right? People post those things in the group, and yes, I ask some people, like, hey, if you had a great experience with my program or my lead gen, post it in the group for me. That's what we all do. We ask our clients to post reviews if we did good work. But some of these people go in there and, they ask me for help, and they go in there and they post that I helped them, and I appreciate that. You don't have to do those things. Actually makes Patrick mad sometimes, because he's like, you're spending too much time on some of this stuff. You need support.
Why am I the bad guy?
You need some. No, you just need. He tells me all the time, I need support. I need help, and I do try to control things a little bit too much. I think we all do in this business. But it's because I genuinely care about making sure that you guys are doing the right thing and making the most out of your lead gen. Prime example is this fucking video right now, right? Excuse my language. I'm sorry, guys. It's not going to be the last time you hear me curse in this video. It's, I could be downstairs with my kids right now. I'm sure one of them is going to come to that door right over there and say, "Daddy, let me in just a minute," like she did right before I started this live. I could be doing that stuff, but I choose to be up here right now for this hour or whatever it is that we spend talking to you guys and answering your questions about, how we are doing things to mitigate, some of the risk that we have in our business right now, across the board, because we don't just sell lead gen. We don't just sell information about marketing. We are in the trenches. We own a brokerage. We have a lot of agents in 5 major metros in Texas and in Las Vegas. So, we understand what you guys are going through. We're watching it and we're seeing it every day. And I want you guys to ask these questions. I'm looking down here at my phone, by the way. I'm not ignoring the camera here because I can see the questions popping up on here. I need you guys to ask these questions. I want you guys to ask these questions so that we can help you. That said, I'm going to go through a few of the ones that have popped up so far. Patrick answered Michelle's question. Hi, Susie. How are you? Michael Wade, a few other people have said, I've got 3 signed listings. I've got this, I've got that. That is wonderful. I'm seriously excited that you guys are still experiencing this right now. But my opinion only, here's what I see happening over the next couple of weeks. Again, I think this COVID shit is going to pass quickly. I think it's going to come and go just like the rest of them do. But right now, people are starting to panic. My panic in terms of they don't want people to touch them or be around them. Me included. I'm not letting my kids go anywhere. My daughter's friends are not allowing them to come over here, and vice versa. We are all, I think, being as responsible as we can be and socially distancing ourselves and trying to do what we can to help stop the spread, right? And my point is that's what other people are doing. Sellers are going to start like putting a stop to people coming in and out of their homes. Buyers may not want to go out and search for a little while, just put it off for a couple of weeks. Those things might happen. in half of the cases, you might see half your clients not care. You might see half of them do. You have to prepare for these things, right? Are we going to be okay? Fuck yes, we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. We're America's great. We're going to get through it together. But again, I feel like it's my job, and Patrick feels like it's his job, to at least to get on here and spend this time doing this and answering your questions to help you get through it the best you can. Right? Sometimes people post stuff on their timelines that I read that help me through my day or my week. I've had a rough few weeks with that nose surgery, sinuplasty, septum shit I just went through.
Can't tell though. Can't tell.
The same. Shut up, fat boy. No, but okay. So anyway, let me quit babbling, and I'm going to answer some of these questions. Graham Harris, are you going to create any new ads to address this situation? While I don't understand the nature of your question completely, I will say this. No, I'm not. I'm not going to create ads that go out to consumers about COVID-19 in any way, shape, or form that would help drive business. I'm not going to use, and Graham, I'm not saying this is what you're getting at. I'm just saying, no, if that, whether it is or isn't, I will never use a crisis like this for capital gain. Period. That's it. Point blank. It's just not going to happen. Right? That may not, I don't think that's what you're talking about. That may not be it. But if I were you guys, I would avoid doing that. I think it's tasteless to use the fear that people have to try and gain business from it. It's not classy at all, and it ultimately will hurt your business because people will think less of you. Period. Point blank. I won't touch on that anymore. Patrick, if yeah. And okay, another question from Graham Harris. And again, Graham, that wasn't a shot at you, man. I love you. Like, just that's how I feel about that. Graham, another question. I pushed my KW app that allows clients to look at homes remotely. That's a good idea. I think a lot of this stuff is going to go virtual. For a few weeks. I think it'll stop business a little bit if you let it, if you allow it to. If you lay down and don't do anything, it will.
Well, let me address something real quick.
Go ahead.
If I'm gonna this is a personal opinion. I'm obviously not a doctor. Let me put that out there. For those of you that are still going and doing listing appointments in person, those of you that have buyers that are looking at properties and still want to work, okay, I think you can do that. And one of the things with this virus, like many others, so I do have a small medical background, I guess 12 years, whatever. But this is mostly airborne and when you touch things. So if you go into a house, okay, and you don't touch anything and your client doesn't sneeze on you and you don't touch your face, you should be okay. If you walk into a house and you start touching everything and then touch your face, that's where you're really going to want to worry about. So as far as like wearing a mask to showings or listing appointments and stuff like that, that's one of those things where I think that you could probably be okay and not get sick doing that. But again, don't touch a bunch of things. Wash your hands at least 30 seconds and don't touch your face. The other thing is if you have listings and your clients are okay with showings happening, but you're just not having showings occur, if you haven't done a video tour, which I don't like video tours usually for listings because I like to just give buyers just enough so they get to the property and then they can take in the whole thing. But in this circumstance where maybe you don't have any showings going on, consider doing a video walkthrough either with a professional if you can find somebody that'll come do it, or you just do it with yourself. That may be a way for you guys to be able to put that out there so buyers can still see your property without having to come and walk it. If your sellers are worried about people coming and being there, if you have a lot more time and you're not under a strict 24-hour quarantine where you can't go out, offer to meet buyers agents and their buyers at your listings. Bring hand sanitizer, give them gloves, give them a mask, whatever you can do to make your sellers feel more comfortable about other people being in their house. So these are just ideas that you can use where if you have clients and they're just not wanting to make a move because they're fearful or they're worried about something, these are things you can do to help mitigate those fears and maybe get them out and continue working and buying and doing stuff like that. And I will tell you this, if you haven't invested in technology in your business already, do so. I think somebody said that they're using Zoom, which is what we're using now to do this live with you guys. So you can do Zoom meetings with people. We have digital signatures. But you know what? Sometimes you're going to have to go in person. And I will give you a real life example of something I'm going through right now. I have a client. This client, both of them actually, are 90 plus years old and in a nursing home. And I'm selling their home, with their kids' help before they pass away so they don't have to go through probate and everything else. Well, guess what? Both of them are in a nursing home and they don't use a computer. And the Texas Health and Human Services has now restricted, access to nursing homes to just staff and immediate family as needed only. So the plan was for me at the end of this month to go down there and sit down and talk to them about the listing agreement and explain it to them and have them sign it. Well, guess what? I can't go down there anymore. I'm not a staff and I'm not family. And while it may be necessary, I can't go down there. So now I have to communicate with the family and figure out, do they want to go and do it? Do we want to record a video of me explaining everything and they can take it down there and let them watch it? How are we going to do that? And so these are definitely obstacles that you'll have to overcome. And it may be that I have to just put this listing off until they lift that ban and I can go in and have them actually sign it. Well, it could be 3 or 4 months. And the reality is they could be dead by then. I don't know. That's the whole point of trying to get it done now. But these are just the realities of our business. And those are some ideas that you can help mitigate your client fears so that you can continue conducting business. So that's all I got, William. We got some more questions here.
Yeah, there's a couple I wanted to answer real quick. Let me see. Kelly, we appreciate you too. Kelly, Ryan, Stanton. You guys have been great.
You don't have to summarize everything.
I do. I have to address my people. Shut your mouth. All right, let's see. Let me see. Misha Bellis. So what do I tell cold leads? You know what? I'm going to pause that for a second. Look at this, all this banter coming from a guy who can't even keep his office lights on.
I have electricity saving procedures in place, trying to decrease my bills.
That's the backup generator.
Corona.
What do I tell cold leads I never talked to in 3 months? In the 3 months I've been with you, text took them to only a certain points, but then they stopped responding. What do you say to them now when all of them are scared to death? I mean, Misha, that's a loaded question. You should start by sending them, making sure they're on searches, talking to them, asking them how they're holding up through the situation, something that's more shows concern more so than, hey, are you still going to buy a house right now? This is a trying time for a lot of people, but you could still, like I said earlier, you can just call them and check on them like, hey, I know you submitted your information a while back about the list of homes or whatever that situation may be or whatever ads you used. I was curious, how you're, where you're at right now in that process, given what's going on. And you know what, first, how are you doing? How's that, is your family doing okay through this? Stuff like that. Just show a little bit of concern. You know what I mean? It's okay to call them and talk to them. It's still borders that whole, like, using COVID-19 to gain, but it's okay to show some concern.
Let me say this real quick. Study after study after study in recent years have shown that people want authentic representation or authentic professionals when they work. They don't want you to fake care about them. Okay. Right. They don't want you to fake, oh yeah, this house is great. And don't worry about the highway over here. They want you to point out the highway and how to overcome it and stuff like that. So be authentic. That's what I'll say. Be authentic, genuinely care for people. And when I say things like, go work, you have this extra time, go work through your CRM, I would work it just the same as you always have. I wouldn't try to tailor things to be, Corona specific. Now, if you reach out to them and they're like, hey, we were interested, but we're putting this all on hold, well, then maybe you can take a chance to educate them on what's going on in the marketplace, educate them on what you think is coming down the pipe, educate them on ways that they can minimize the impact and stuff like that, and provide them with really useful information. William mentioned earlier that obviously everybody's here to make money. We're here on this side, you're here on that side. But I will tell you that the best way that you guys can make money is by caring about people.
Let me add to that.
We care about you guys. We care about what your businesses are. And we always say inside of our brokerage that our agents are our clients. As the brokerage, our agents are our clients. And if we take care of them, then they can go take care of their people. And so you should look at your leads and your clients the same exact way. And so I wouldn't change anything about the way you're working them. I would just work them harder than you did before, because now you have the extra time.
Yeah, let me add to that real quick. Guys, I have worked my ass off to, hold on a second. I have worked my ass off to make sure that like I said earlier, take care of everybody as best I can, right? And I know that goes a long way with people, right? Being authentic, caring about people, making sure that, you put their best interests first. The customer service I provide is 95 or more % of my business. The product works, the training works. I mean, I think you go into the group and see the thousands of reviews and know that shit, right? But what keeps me busy, what keeps me going, is those of you that go out and tell your friends and your coworkers and your peers, hey, look, if you want great lead gen, you need to go talk to William. And why do they do that? Maybe because the product worked well, but more so because I took care of you and made sure you were okay, not just before the sale or after the sale, but after, before the sale or during the sale, but also after. I made sure that you were taken care of and I didn't charge you for it, right? Those are the things that go a long way. That translates over to every business. If you take care of I'm going to use one Texas business as an example. I don't know if HEB is outside of Texas, Patrick, is it?
I believe.
We have a grocery store chain here called HEB. They're run by the most amazing fucking people in the state, in my opinion. They're great. They're charitable. They understand the communities they're in. They run their business amazingly well. They got hit extremely hard. I would say they're a Texas favorite when it comes to grocery shopping. So when all this madness started happening, obviously I know the rest of the country got hit hard, but they got hit extremely hard. Shelves were empty. They took care of their customers. They spoke to people extremely nice when people were walking in the door, even though the employees were stressed, like we get in this business, right? Especially now, real estate's already stressful enough, and now we're all on high alert, stressing even more. But what did they do? They slowed things down. They looked at everything. They structured the customers coming in and out. They restocked the shelves. They put limits on things so people could have enough food for a couple of weeks, but not have to fight for stuff in the store. That's what we need to be doing here. We need to be reassuring our clients, reassuring you, showing you what you need to do, or trying to do the best that we can at that anyway. And you need to be showing your clients, here's how we need to move in this market. Here are the things that we can do to make sellers more comfortable, like Patrick said earlier, about going in their home. Here are the things that they can do to make us feel more comfortable coming to their home. And, just, again, caring about people. Those are the things that are going to continue to drive us forward, in this business. And not doing so, or being selfish, or trying to use certain things for gain in this situation. Those are the things that are going to hurt you. So, Patrick, what other topics did we have to cover? We got quite a few questions. I want to cover everything, but I don't want to keep everybody on here too long.
I was just going to say, I think that we're at like 40 minutes, I think. So I think wrapping it up is probably good. We're getting a little long. And so folks that are watching this in the future, we don't want to go too long. Kelly asked if I thought, personally, video was good for every new listing. Again, everybody's got different opinions. I know that, Michael Wade said that he used Matterport on all his listings, which some people do that. I'm kind of old school in the sense that I like to give just enough of a tease. I like, if you look at any of my listings, every photo, it has some tie into the previous photo. So we don't go from the front of the house to the kitchen. We go to the hallway. You can kind of track yourself through the house. I like to give buyers just enough of a taste to make them go, I really want to be there and see it. Especially when you have a listing where, you know, you might have something that's kind of detracting from the overall beauty or value of the home. You really want to get those people in there so they can see the whole thing and make a decision seeing the whole house versus showing them everything and they can just exclude it from the get-go. So I've sold a lot of listings like that where, you know, buyers agents were like, man, I didn't even think this one would contend, but my buyers wanted to see it and they got here and, you know, we did a deal. So that's my opinion on that. Graham's question, you know, Graham clarified his question, you know, maybe more about ads as far as like, you know, services you provide. And there's certainly, I don't know if we could mass produce an ad for you guys to use because everybody's so different. But if you were going to run an ad that talked about services that you're willing to provide during this time, you could certainly do that. You know, hey, looking for a house, I'm willing to do video tours, Facebook,
You know what?
video, stuff
You know
like
what?
that.
You know what? I tell you what, guys, I'll add my email address to this right now here, and I'll also add it into the caption on this and when I repost this video later. It's William, WILLIAM, at what is my email address? Is it socialagentprogram.com? Is that the one I'm using, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm gonna write it here.
Hold on, no wait. I'm sorry, guys. It's FB, like Facebook. FB at socialagentbrokeredition.com. The reason why I didn't know that is because we just changed from Lead Source Management to Social Agent Broker Edition, guys. Just so you know, I know what my regular email is. Send me your ideas, or not ideas, but send me the things that you guys do, services that you will offer in this.
Yeah, right backwards. It's backwards, isn't it?
No, but your hands over part of it. There you go. No, that's perfect. You know, send me some of the things that you will do, things that you will go above and beyond with. I will write an ad tonight. And if you are a social agent, if you are a socialagentuniversity.com user, sorry, that was corny, but I had to do that shit. If you are a Social Agent University client on the annual or the lifetime package, you will get that ad. I can't promise you it will come out tonight because we still have to program it and upload everything. And I've got to get graphics done. Keep in mind, I can't just create one photo. I've got to have my designer create 100 photos that could fit any part of the country. So if you're in Arizona or if you're in New York, you've got options for photos. I will do my best to create something that can speak to the consumer without using this as like a ploy to get to them. So it's tasteful, basically. I'll do that. Right now, what I want to do, Patrick, is I want to go through some of these questions real quick.
I didn't see other questions. I think that
so no other questions, guys. I'm going to give you guys like another minute to throw more questions in here at me. Let me go over to my screen here and see what we got going on here. Yeah, I know we're at a long time, but if you guys have questions, I don't care how many people stay on the webinar. If you're ready to jump off, jump off. If you want to keep going, keep going.
Before we do that, I want to do a quick summary for you guys so that if you have questions, great, stay and ask your questions. We'll be on for a little bit longer. If you want to jump off, jump off. But let me summarize this whole webinar, the video yesterday, into like 60 seconds, or do my best at doing 60 seconds. And that is this: do not let emotions run your business. You should have a business plan, stick to it. Okay. If you're afraid of hard work, you're going to fail. That's just the way it is, because what we're getting ready to go through is a downturn. How bad it's going to be, we don't know. But if you're afraid to do the work, you're not going to succeed. Don't stop generating leads, whether it's paid leads, working your network, your sphere, the leads that you already have in your CRM. Don't stop working your leads, and don't stop feeding leads into your system. You're going to have to work twice as hard for the business that you do get, so be prepared for that. And at the end of the day, just take care of people, okay? Do not be that sleazy agent that uses this as a chance to make a buck at someone else's expense. For example, forcing somebody into buying a house when they're really not ready to buy, or they have concerns about it, because we know that those clients exist.
That's exactly.
A seller that is on the fence about it and worried about people and trying to minimize their fears just so you can get people into your listing. Just take care of people. Okay. Money is made when you stop worrying about your wallet and start worrying about people. Period. And story. If you don't agree, I don't give a shit, because that is a fact.
That is one of the things that I've always said.
That's all I got.
That's perfect. To take care of people, and the money is a byproduct. That's how I've always run my business. My first fucking priority every single day is to come in here, except for the last 3 weeks because I couldn't breathe out of my nose, and fuck that, I stayed in bed. But every day that I'm in my office, I sit my ass right here and I work hard. There are days, Patrick's seen it, there are days when I get in here at 7 o'clock and I don't walk my ass out of here until 2 in the morning. And I'm working my ass off, getting stuff done for my agents in my brokerage, ads for our brokerage, ads for you guys, catching up on orders. You know, if I make a fucking promise to my people, I'm going to keep it. Excuse my language. I'm going to keep cursing. I'm sorry. But to touch on what Patrick said, for lack of a better term, don't be an asshole. Like, take care of your people. Don't use this situation as a way to make more money for yourself. And just genuinely be kind to people and work your leads. Just take care of people at business as usual. Let them know you care and work them. Don't be an ass, right? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You see, whether you like my language or not, you see those people on Facebook posting misinformation. You guys are going to get 0% interest. I made a post about that shit yesterday, right? No, you're not going to get 0% interest on your mortgage, because the Fed rate has very little effect on long-term mortgage rates. Like, will it go up and down a little bit? Yes, but you're not going to get 0%. Like, you're just not going to get. That's not how this works in America, right? So don't post stuff like that. Know what you're talking about. Be factual, and don't use those things to prey on people in emotional time. There's that email address again, guys. If you have questions, again, I'm going to release it to the people who are our clients. I'm taking care of you. Social Agent University annual or lifetime clients, which the bulk of our clients are. Facebook at Social Agent University, or Social Agent Broker Edition.com. I can't even remember my own email. And send questions there too. If it's not an input on, what you're willing to do to go above and beyond in this market, great, whatever. If you have a question, just send it.
I have terrible handwriting.
Yeah.
My handwriting is horrendous.
Yeah, you do. Let's see. I'm going to check one more time. Let me check one more time, make sure we don't have any new questions, and then I think we're just going to wrap this up. If you guys have any other questions afterwards, feel free to message me. Okay, Graham, hold up the email. He did that already. Melissa, you are 100% correct. Only the strong will survive. I said that yesterday on Roland RK's post. That's exactly right. Only the strong will survive. Do your job, work your ass off, protect your family, protect your business. Keep lead generating or working the leads that you have, and you will be okay. That's all I have, guys.
Real quick, believe it or not, my dad, he works inside our brokerage, just had a crazy good suggestion. If you want to provide stellar customer service to your clients, ask them if they need anything from the store, and if you can go pick that up for them. That's a solid ass idea. Well done, Howard. Well done.
Yes, make sure you wrap yourself in lots of trash bags. Poke a hole right there and right there, and you should be okay.
All right,
I'm
guys.
kidding. Okay, y'all take care.
I think we're gonna wrap this up. You guys have a great day. If you have questions, post them in the comments over here or below, depending on what you're watching, and we'll catch those later. Otherwise, you guys have a great day.
See you guys later.